Okay, test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2. Okay, that's working. Okay, I'm trying as fast as I can to get this going. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Alright, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, I'm all set up. I just need to connect the VK2ROT repeater and then we will get started. KJ7OMO. First, let's make sure they're... Oh, okay, that one is connected somewhere. 55421. Start 355421. Boom. Okay, we are connected to the VK2ROT repeater. And let's go ahead and get this net started. Hello and welcome to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. My name is Kimberly, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar is my call sign, and my pronouns are she, her. I am your net control operator for this net. This is a roundtable, general discussion, and rag to chew net, and all calls should go through the net control station. This net normally meets every Sunday at 2 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time, but we are 31 minutes late due to some major technical problems on my end. I've had some computer issues, and I also had some internet issues as well, but all those problems have been resolved. So before we begin, do we have any emergency or other priority traffic? If at any time there is an emergency, please say break, break, and we will assist you. This net provides a safe place for members of the LGBTQIA+ community as well as their allies to hang out over the airwaves. This net, as well as the network it's hosted on, is open to all licensed amateur radio operators. No membership is necessary, and we also welcome third-party traffic as well. The Pride Radio Group provides an inclusive environment for all to learn, experiment, and enjoy radio communications by encouraging, promoting, and supporting diversity with the wider radio community, sharing our experiences and learnings with the community, and celebrating and embracing Pride on the air. For more information about the Pride Radio Group and how to join, plus gain access to our Discord chat room, head on over to prideradio.group. That is prideradio.group. Or check out Victor Kilo 3 Papa Romeo Golf or Kilo 3 Papa Romeo Golf on QRZ. Membership is free and all are welcome, regardless of who you are and who you love. Unless you hate us, of course. This net is being relayed on the various nodes, talk groups, and reflectors of the Pride Radio Network and affiliated systems, as well as various RF repeaters around the world, and is also streamed live on YouTube via my YouTube channel for searching for my call sign, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, as well as Broadcastify and Icecast. For more information on how you can connect to this network, visit prideradionetwork.com. That is prideradionetwork.com. You can also track and follow this net by downloading NetLogger on Windows, Linux, or Mac OS from netlogger.org. That is netlogger.org. It's a great piece of software. You can log in and see a list of call signs being populated in real time and follow along with the net. Alright, before we begin this evening's net, do we have any news, announcements, or other items of business for the net and the Pride Radio Group?
VK3JD.
Okay, Tony, take it away.
Yeah, with the net now appearing an hour later local time due to daylight savings, I do get time to do a full test, and as far as I can tell, all modes are working today, except for the Freestar System X, which I will look into in the next couple of days when net activities have quietened down on the system. So, yeah, we should have all modes available, at least from my end. And you can check me in, KJ7RMO, VK3JD.
Alrighty, thank you for that, and we'll give you an early check-in. Do we have anyone else with announcements, news, or other items of business for the net? Okie dokie. Alright. Let's start taking some check-ins. First, let's start off with mobile short on time and in and out stations. So if you're mobile, don't have much time, or if you simply want to pop in, say hello, and then pop out, come now with your call sign slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Alright, well, looks like I'm gonna have to shake that tree a little bit and put some announcements out there on the Discord. I meant to put the announcements out earlier, but well, I forgot, so we're just gonna have to shake that tree hard. So, do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net? All I need is your call sign, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, standing by.
Victor Kilowatt 5, Zulu Sierra Hotel, VK5 ZSH. He, him.
Okie dokie, we have VK5ZSH. Do we have anybody else? What the heck is causing all that?
Number 4, November Yankee X-ray. Sarah here.
Alright, could you repeat your call sign one more time?
I'll sign one more time. This is November.
Alright, all I got out of that was a November, and that's it. Could you try it one more time?
Number 4, November Yankee X-ray. Sarah.
Okay, was that November 4, November Yankee X-ray, or was there a kilo in front of that?
Kimberly, that sounded like November 4, November Yankee X-ray. N4 NYX. QSL?
Alright, QSL, yeah, some reason their connection is not making it in very well. Seem to be breaking up a bit. Alright, thank you for the relay. Yeah, I do see Sarah there on the name, so it looks like I did got the call sign correctly. Okay, do we have anybody else out there?
Is VK2BSD, Victor Kilo 2 Bravo Sierra Delta. I'll be in and out again this week, but hopefully back to normal next week.
Okie dokie, Yakov, thank you for stopping by M73. Anybody else? Already, we got a list of a few nice stations, a nice list of a few stations here. So let's get started with VK3 JED KJ7 OMO. Your turn, Tony. Hello.
Yeah, g'day everyone, and good to have the net back again. We get there eventually, even if we do have technical hitches. Gremlin stayed off the network for the most part, just all concentrated on your end this week. And yeah, all my big news is has nothing to do with radio. Yeah, I actually haven't been on the radio much, only the local club net on the Friday that you sometimes check into. But yeah, it's all on the track this week. Yeah, ran my best 100. The actual time was the best so far this year. Not quite as fast as last year, but once the effect of ageing is taken into account, it's actually my best ever. So yeah, I'm not slowing down as I get older. Against others, I'm gradually improving, and that's just the start of it. So yeah, had a good day yesterday. The only letdown was the shot put was a bit ordinary, but yeah, all the track races were quite good. So pretty happy, and then went out and had a track session this morning at 10 o'clock. Got back about an hour before the net was scheduled to start. So yeah, that's my big news, and we've had some really horrendous weather. Wednesday, Thursday were very wet, and there's major flooding across much of the state. We're okay here, not any major waterways flow through town here, so we're pretty much spared it, but yeah, a lot of other towns around in all directions have some major flooding, and there's trees down all over the place. A KJ7OMO with the group VK3JD.
VK3 JED KJ7 OMO returning. Oh boy, oh brother, that does not sound good. But I'm glad you're okay though, and glad everybody else is okay. Yeah, that must have been a lot of that must have been a lot of crazy weather going on. Earlier today we had some storms roll through, but luckily they didn't do much. They just spit out some rain and maybe a little lightning here and there, and that was it. So, yeah, we're quite fortunate there. But, yeah, well, anyways, oh yeah, that, personal record, congratulations, woohoo! Congratulations for that. Sounds like you're really huffing and puffing it out there. Awesome sauce. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pass that mic over to VK5ZSH KJ7OMO. Hello, Dale.
There we go, finally got it. KJ7OMO, VK5ZSH returning in the group. Afternoon, evening, morning, all. Yeah, I haven't been up to much here. Yeah, as Tony stated there, we've been having some bad weather here in Australia. It started off here in SA, and yeah, ours has gone east basically. But at the same time, we haven't had it as bad as the people on the east coast there. I haven't caught up with the news or anything like that, but I know Tasmania was getting hammered pretty hard with some flooding there. And they also had to deal with a king tide at the same time. So instead of water going out, what was going out down the rivers was coming back in because of the king tide. So yeah, hopefully they've all gone well down there. And I think, as everyone knows, it's Jamboree on the air and Jamboree on the internet this weekend too. As far as I know, it's a worldwide event. It's very dismal here. The turnout, yeah, I've heard bugger all stuff on the bands basically to do with Jamboree on the air and Jamboree on the internet. So. Not sure what's happening here in Australia with that, especially with here. We've got actually a beautiful day. It was a good day yesterday as well. So no excuse for the Scouts not being out doing things on the radio and internet and what have you. Because I know that there's two groups going here today. In Adelaide, but I'm not sure whether there's any more. I don't think there'd probably be much on the east coast going there, not around the flooded zones anyway. Yeah, I'll put it back to you there, Kimberly. KJ7 IMO VK5 ZSH.
VK5 ZSH KJ7 OMO returning. Alright, well, it's good that you haven't gotten as much of the damage from the storms as the other folks did. Anyways, We're gonna send it over to Sarah. November 4, November Yankee X-ray. Hopefully you're able to make it into the repeater system. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
Yep, this is Sarah, November 4, November Yankee X-ray, trying to...
Where is Sarah coming in from?
Yeah, I'll need to get on top of that here. It looks like the radio's trying to transmit while I'm...
All right, Sarah. Yeah, you're not making it in. Question: what node are you connected to at the moment? Huh. Well, yeah, you're not making it through. Sarah, if you are coming in through All Star or Echolink, I would if you're coming in through All Star, I would recommend trying node 2105. That is 2105 if you are coming in through All Star. Echolink, we do have a few conferences you could try out. I know there's the Pride Conference, but that's located all the way in Australia. In case if you're having latency issues, over there, then try connecting to either KJ7OMO-L, or if that one's not working, KJ7OMO-R, and that happens to be my call sign, by the way. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar here, and we'll put it back to you to try it one more time.
Yep, I'm on the Echolink nodes, and yeah, which configuration I need to set for that.
Alright, well, it looks like Sarah is not able to maintain a connection, so we'll get back with Sarah in just a little bit. I will send you a message on Discord here shortly. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list. Let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, standing by for check-ins.
Here is Whiskey Alpha 1, Mike Charlie Sierra. That's Whiskey Alpha 1, Mike Charlie Sierra. Nora, she, her. Hi, everybody.
Alright, Mara, got you down. WA1MCS. Do we have anybody else out there?
Victor Taylor 2, Whiskey Alpha Yankee, popping in to say g'day.
It's about time you showed up, Jared. Victor Kilo 2, Whiskey Alpha Yankee. I was about ready to drag your butt over here. Oh, wait, you're in Australia. Never mind. And I'm all the way here in Arizona. Alright, good to hear you on the air. Good to hear you. Do we have anybody else wishing to check in? All right, let's send the mic over to Whiskey Alpha 1, Mike Charlie Sierra, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Hey, Maura, how are you doing?
KJ7LMO, WA1, I'm doing fine. It has been a good, productive Saturday for me. Got a few things done around the house, did some tidying, and getting ready to put together a pattern for a blouse that I'm making. Gotta go to the store tomorrow and get some fabric for that, but that should be fun to make something. I haven't made any clothes in a while. This one, and it's actually for a wedding I'm coming to down in your neck of the woods. I'll be in Phoenix at the end of the week, so that should be fun as well. And yeah, that's been my day. Back to you, KJ7LMO. This is WA1MCS.
All right, WA1MCS KJ7OMO returning. That blouse project sounds really awesome. Do share the pictures of that awesome little blouse when you're done making it. And Phoenix, Arizona. All right, pretty cool. I've been there a few times, though. I'm about 4 or 5 or 6 hours drive away. So if you ever find your way over to Yuma, Arizona, stop on by and say hi. All right. VK2WAY, your turn, Jared. KJ7OMO. Good to hear you on the air again.
Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Thank you for that VK2WAY to the Sunday afternoon here in Sydney, Australia. Anyway, FrideNet, and it's good to be back. It's had a couple of weeks a little bit away from radio, not really being so focused on other things, I didn't want the distraction more so. I know you know what I've been distracted by, and you've been enjoying the, let's say, obsession yourself of generative AI art. And yeah, it's been a fun learning experience building a little platform around that over the last few weeks. And officially launched that last night, and glad to be taking a break from it today. So watching a bit of cricket on the TV and drinking beer like I was last night when I was talking to you, Kimberly. So I'll leave it at that for now. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon here in Sydney. I did hear Dale before talking about the storms down his way, and there's a lot of it's meant to still be raining here too, but there's a lot of damage down in the southern states, Victoria and South Australia. But beautiful sunny afternoon here in Sydney, light breeze, couple of white fluffy clouds in the sky, but doesn't look like rain. Enjoying some time on my balcony, and back to you there, KJ7OMO. This is VK2WAY.
All right, awesome sauce. Well, good to know that everything's all right. And yes, I have been part of the obsession that you've started. Generating all these images through the AI thing. Having a load of fun. Anyways, before we throw it back up to the top, do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in? All I need is your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. All right, we'll toss it back over to Tony, VK3JED, KJ7OMO.
Yeah, okay, and g'day to Laura and Jared as well. Got a nice little crowd appearing on the net, so that's good to hear. And good to hear you back in the land of throwing RF around there, Jared. You were becoming rare, but not so DX, since Sydney's still inside the same country. The weather down here is quite similar. Probably a little more cloud, but it's quite a pleasant day. It's about 50% cloud cover, but very comfortable. I've gone down to a T-shirt outside. So, yeah, all good. And I don't know if you heard my first over, but, last Saturday, 13.26 for the 100, and age graded at just over 82% of a world record performance. So 82% of the way there, which is actually the highest result using the current system that I've ever had. I've had all my results run through the current calculations, and it's still the highest. So very happy with that. And for Sarah, you might need to just draw a little picture of how your RF hardware and computer are connected together, and the svxlink.conf file, we could do that on Discord sometime over the next few days. No hurry, I'm probably going to go out after the net like I did last week. But yeah, we can have a look at your setup. It almost is behaving like you've got a duplex setup with a simplex radio, but you reckon you're in simplex. So I need to look at the hardware and software setup. Certainly more than happy to help and help you get the system up and running as you need it to run. Anyway, I think that's enough for this round. Just a little recap and add to the last. KJ7OMO with the group VK3JD.
All right, VK3JED, KJ7OMO returning. Lots of good stuff in that round, and we'll toss it over to VK5ZSH for even more stuff. KJ7OMO.
KJ7OMO, VK5 ZSH returning, and morning, afternoon, evening to the latecomers there. And yes, it's been a while since we've heard you around there, Jared. You almost need to go special event call sign. Hi. Yeah, I forgot to say before too there, Tony, congratulations there with the running stuff and that. It sounds good. My knees wouldn't handle it these days. But where was it? I think it might have been on this morning's WIA broadcast. I didn't fully listen to it, but pricked my ears up when something or other's happening to do with bicycles, where you set a distance and the amount that you hope to fundraise, basically. So I have to look into that a little bit more and see what they're getting at there, because it'd be interesting to have a POTA type thing, but done on bicycles on the air or something like that. It'd be rather good to sort of have an event like that, but maybe do it something like once a year or something like that everyone gets out on their bicycles and rides from here to wherever, basically. Because myself, I wouldn't mind doing that. Chuck a hotspot, mobile phone, etc., into a backpack and go with the handheld, etc., and do it that way. Maybe bicycles on the air to a SOTA on the air. Hi. I don't have much more to add at this moment, so hopefully I will get further ammunition as the net goes on. So I'll put it back to you there, Kimberly. KJ7 IMO, VK5 Zulu Sierra Hotel.
Alright, that sounds good, Dale. VK5ZSH, KJ7OMO, returning, and we're gonna pass the mic over to Sarah, N4NYX, KJ7OMO, and hopefully these issues are resolved. Let's see. Let's find out.
Well, I've resolved to go ahead and use the normal client in any sort of experiments this time around, so that way I can jump in and at least be part of the conversation and just listen in. But yeah, sorry, just mind blanking there for a second. Yeah, discredit me in my own experimentation before assuming the network's down. I'm sure it's my side and nothing to do on yours. Just need to track down the exact right.
Okay, you were coming in crystal clear, and then after you said something about tracking down the problem, you just cut out abruptly. We'll put it back to you to try that again or finish off what you was trying to say.
Yep, just getting used to also using the client. I don't know, Ectolink's one of the new things to me, but any way to connect to the network is also new to me. So, all in all, yeah, still finding my own way through. And yeah, earlier issues, yeah, that's going to be my side. I can almost guarantee it. So, nothing for you to worry about with the network. Just, yeah, I'm trying to learn while I'm doing things. Anyway, this is Sarah, N4NYX, back to net control in the group.
Alright, N4NYX, KJ7OMO returning. Alright, got you there. Alright. Well, yeah, SBX Link, yeah, that's a whole other ball game right there, trying to get that thing to work. But yeah, good to know that you're at least experimenting and playing around with radio stuff, and yeah, all these modes were new to us at one point, but now that we've been introduced, it's not so new anymore. But yeah, we got like, oh, I don't know, a gazillion ways you can get into the network. Anyways, we're gonna pass it over to Whiskey Alpha 1, Mike Charlie Sierra Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar.
KG7LMO, WA1MCS. You know, I certainly experienced that pain trying to set up my DMR hotspot and trying to figure out how to get everything configured with that. And then having to configure my radio. I picked up Motorola XP from a friend for way cheaper than it should have been. And I've been kind of little by little doing some refurbishing on that. And got my programming software last week so I can actually talk on all the things without having to mess with all the talk groups in my hotspot config. Sadly, there's no repeaters near me that I can get on for pretty much anything. I'm surrounded by hills in odd ways, so it's been tough to get up. That's my little 4 or 5 watt HTs, but soon, hopefully, I'll have something a little more substantial that I can hopefully get into those things and a little better antenna setup. But as you know, there's always money involved in getting most of the new toys and things like that. So hopefully one of these days I'll get a little better setup and I can get into some more of the repeaters. But for now, happy to have a little hotspot, and thanks many thanks again for Tony for being the key in me figuring out how to actually make the damn thing work. So, yeah. KJ7OMO, WA1MCS.
WA1MCS KJ7OMO returning. Hey, at least a hotspot is better than nothing. At least you can connect to all the different repeater networks out there through the power of the internet. Though it does suck that there is nothing where you are that you could reach with an HT. But yeah, I reckon an outdoor antenna set up high enough to overcome those hills would help you there. But for the time being, the hotspot should get you around. Okay, VK2WAY. We'll toss that hot mic back to you, KJ7OMO.
Thanks, Kimberly. Victor Kilo 2 Whiskey Alpha Yankee returning to the Pride Net. And g'day there, Tony and Dale. Good to hear you both. It's been a little while, but yeah, I hope you're both doing okay. And yeah, good to hear you, Tony. Congrats on the, I think you said 82% of the record there. That's fantastic, and I think we had a few others on as well who I haven't heard before, so I'll say g'day to them as well. And I'm Jared here in Sydney, about 2 kilometres south of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Pronouns are they, them, and yeah, that's me, for those who don't know me. Other than that, let's see, yeah, not much more to report, just a casual, cruisy Sunday afternoon at home, drinking beer and watching cricket and listening to Net. So, yeah, not much more to add. Dale, how did you go with your, I think you're having some HF and MBN issues last we spoke. I'm hoping you've gotten them resolved, maybe. And Tony, we still do need to catch up. Yeah, let's do so soon. Yeah, I think that's all from me for now. So, hey everyone, and back to you, Net Control, KJ7OMO. This has been Victor Kilo 2 Whiskey Alpha Yankee.
Whew, my apologies, YouTube, for that burping. Alright, VK2WAY KJ7OMO returning. Yes, once again, it's good to have you back. I was wondering where the heck you've been. It was like, where the heck is Jared when you need them? Anyways, we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. I'll stand by for check-ins.
Kilo 7, India, Papa Kilo. Maeve, out of Belgium, Kilo 7, India, Papa Kilo.
Alright, a new voice on the net, Kilo 7, India, Papa Kilo. Do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in? Alrighty, Kilo 7, India Papa Kilo. Hello, how are you? Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
Pretty well, thank you. My name's Maeve. My first time joining the net, and actually my first contact at all. A little bit nervous. Checking in over the internet to the. I'll start with the Echolink here. Been dealing with a lot of fires out here in the Pacific Northwest. Big fire up on the highway just northeast of us, so it's been smoky all day. Was out on my HF setup outside, getting a little bit little bit of a vicarious fun watching all the SDA traffic on 10 meter lately. Hoping to start learning all of that soon. Get a setup that can actually transmit. I've just got a little SDR that lets me connect in, lets me listen in. Really, really excited. I just got my technician license earlier this week, and it's great to meet all of you. I can't remember if I mentioned my name is Maeve, and my pronouns are they or she, whichever is easier for you. Kilo 7, India Papa.
All right. Well, first of all, welcome to amateur radio. I see that you have been granted your license just a few days ago, and welcome welcome aboard, and congratulations on your first contact. Kind of weird making it through the internet instead of a radio, but hey, you're still going out over radio anyways. This network is relayed through to different radio connected links throughout the globe. So yeah, there is some RF involved, and welcome aboard once again, and be sure you study up and learn everything you need to learn so you can take that general test and pass it, and have even more fun down on the HF bands. And if you're feeling brave enough, maybe take your extra test too, after general, of course. At the moment, I'm just a general class operator, and I've been trying to get extra, but it's been difficult. But anyways, welcome once again, and if you'd like more information about our group, head on over to prideradio.group. That is prideradio.group. That's the information about our group. And if you have Discord, you'll be able to join the Discord chat room as well. And you're more than welcome to connect here anytime. This network is safe for all members of the LGBTQIA+ people community, and also the allies. So welcome aboard. All right, before I kick it back up to the top. Oh, and another thing. If you'd like to learn about all the different access points to our network, prideradionetwork.com. That is prideradionetwork.com. That lists all the different ways you can connect to this network. All right, before we kick it back up to the top, do we have anybody else wishing to check in?
A comment, if you don't mind, there, Kimberly VK2WAY.
All right, comment station, go for it.
K2WAY. Just quickly, you did mention RF involved. We are going out ROT. I just made sure that was working fine. So FM in Sydney, which is being broadcast out there. And the main comment I wanted to make was, even with my radio volume cranked to maximum, that other station, the new licensee, very hard to hear. Maybe just crank up the mic gain a little bit on that station. Net control, VK2WAY.
All right, copy that. Maeve, your mic does seem to be a little bit on the low side. All right, VK3, JED, the mic is yours, KJ7OMO.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, a little distracted with a few other things in the background, answering a query on M17. I was sort of pointing out some issues with the design, a part of the reflector software that was also inherited from the software it was based on. I won't go into that here, welcome to the new station. Didn't catch the name or the pronouns, and for those that don't know me, my pronouns are he, him. I often forget to mention unless I'm at a function where we sort of got the badges and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's me. Yeah, thanks for the feedback, Jared. Hopefully in March you'll get to see what I'm capable of, and hopefully a bit quicker with your own eyes when I'm up there at Olympic Park. I'm hoping to make it up there. I just got to sort the next few months, try and get all the finances in order, although the worst should be over by the end of November. Yeah, once things are signed, sealed and delivered, a lot of money will be freed up, which will at least should allow Sydney to go ahead. So yeah, that'd be good, and certainly looking forward to the opportunity to actually meeting in person. And yeah, I think I did mention on Telegram the other week, yeah, I did find I had to take over the transcoding for the DMR and related modes, and I have a way to easily switch from one to the other. Had to do that because there's a lot of one-way connections happening and couldn't get hold of you. So I thought, yeah, I think I can do it without disrupting the network and causing loops. Yeah, I've now got a way to easily reroute audio as needed. Currently running through my transcoder at this point in time for DMR. And yeah, I've got to consult with you. There's a couple of little Docker queries I've got that yeah, I'd like to talk about at some stage when we've both got time. Just yeah, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I timed out the radio. Anyway, I've used up my 3 minutes, so KJ7RMO with the group, VK3JD.
All right, VK3JED, KJ7OMO, Kimberly in Yuma, Arizona, pronouns she, her, and I'm located in Yuma, Arizona. Okay, for those who don't know. Okay, well, sounds like a lot of technical stuff going on. I've also got some Docker stuff I want to contend with, I got some Docker stuff I need to deal with as well. So yeah, you're not the only one, Tony. Time to poke the Docker expert's brain. Okay, VK5ZSH, KJ7OMO.
KJ7OMO, VK5, ZSH returning. Yeah, unfortunately I didn't catch everything that Jared had to say there. Stupidly I was sitting here going, I'll do some housekeeping, and I thought, perfect time to see whether the hotspot needs an update. And yeah, well, we all know how that one there ended for 30 odd seconds. Not very nicely. Yeah, everything just sort of went quiet all of a sudden. But yeah, we're back anyway. Yeah, I am at a loss of what else to say. Oh, welcome to the new person there, and congrats on your recently getting licensed, etc., etc. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to add here at the moment, but anyway, for now, I'll put it back to you. Anyway, Kimberly, my brain's, backfiring and not all the neurons are firing for some reason. So, yeah, put it back to you. KJ7IMO, VK5ZSH.
Okie dokie, VK5ZSH, KJ7OMO returning. I know that feeling very well. When the brain isn't firing on with all the neurons. I get that happening all the time. Anyways, November 4, November, Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
Yep, very good to hear another new voice on the net. Makes me not the newest voice on the net then. And yeah, definitely can feel the other comments about all neurons firing. Since, yeah, I've got my own issues that I'm looking into and not patient enough to wait for the net to end. Yeah, I suppose that's what I've got to say, this rotation and back up the net control there.
All right, November 4, November, Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar returning. I don't have much to say at the moment, other than an acknowledgement, and we'll pass it over to Whiskey Alpha 1, Mike, Charlie Sierra, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
KJ70MO, WA1MCS. Also want to say congrats, Maeve, on the new license. Very excited to have you here. Pride Radio Group this net was my first contact as well, so it's a good group and excited to have you here with us. I'm only a few weeks in myself. I got my license just a few weeks ago, so nice to have some other new hams around. And it's getting a little late here, so I'm going to call it on this round. But nice to talk to everybody. Good to hear voices. And say 7-3, back to net, WA1MCS.
Alrighty, Maura. You have a good night, and 7333, all the numbers, and we look forward to hearing you again on the next net. And of course, any time when there is no net, of course. We'll pass it over to, I got a stuttering problem, don't mind that. Victor Kilo 2, Whiskey Alpha Yankee, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
To WAY, returning on FM this time while I wander down the street, barefoot of course, because it's a lovely day here in Sydney and it's not wet, so yeah, enjoying some sunshine, just ducking down to the shop for a moment, and Tony, shoot those questions through, good that you've got my back, glad for that, and yeah, I'll be around a bit more and paying a bit more attention now that my focus is less hyper-focused, which it has been for the last 4 weeks, and yeah, look, very, very productive. Lots and lots of news, actually, as far as work. So in those 4 weeks, I did wrap up the day job, no longer chained and tethered to a permanent role, which is, I was hoping it would free up some time, but it didn't. So in the near future, I will be doing a bit more travel around the country, doing studio and various AV installs. So I have to fly a Canadian manufactured replay device up to Queensland in a couple of weeks to demo it. There's only 2 of those devices in production in Australia at the moment, and I'm trained on it, so that should be a lot of fun. And yeah, Tony, looking forward to the Masters. It's the Masters Athletics, isn't it, in March? I need to make sure I'm booked to work that, so that we definitely do get to catch up. And either way, if you're in Sydney, we will catch up, no doubt. Yeah, I'm, well, walking and breathless, so I'll throw it back to net control and I'll pick it up next over. KJ7 Elmo, this is VK2 WAY.
Alrighty, well, sounding good coming through the FM repeater. And enjoy your walk over to the shop. I bet you're gonna get something good. Alright, we'll toss that mic back to KK7 IPK, KJ7 OMO.
Kilo 7 India Papa Kilo. Thank you everyone for the warm welcome. I'm sorry if my protocol is not perfect. I'm still learning and extremely nervous. Thank you all for the warm welcome. I'm super excited. I hope the audio is a little bit better now. I'm speaking a little bit louder, and I turned up the gain. Kilo 7 India Papa Kilo, back to.
Alrighty, not a problem. I mean, we were all new once, and we all stumbled just like you did in the beginning. But once you've learned all the basics and the dust is settled and you've settled in, then you'll be able to get through this whole thing and like it's nothing. But yeah, and you are sounding fantastic now. Okay, we are at the bottom of the list, so let's see if there's anybody else out there. Let's start shaking the tree a little bit and taking a poke at Radioland, and let's see who else is out there. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, your net control station for the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net, and I will stand by for check-ins.
This is Whiskey 4 November Zulu X-Ray.
Okay, I'm not sure if I got that right. Whiskey 4 November Zulu X-Ray?
Solid copy, young lady. The handle here is George, over.
Okay, got you down. Do we have anybody else wishing to check in? Alright, Whiskey 4, November Zulu X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, the mic is yours.
Hey, all right. Thank you, and say a very good evening to everybody, and welcome to our newbie there. I didn't catch her name or that call sign either, but hey, young lady, you're doing great. Just, hang in there with it, and you'll be an old pro before long. I was in the hobby several years ago and got out of it and stayed out for about 20 years, and I had to retest, and then I got that phone call. Well, Mr. Campbell, you're a general again. So I've been starting all over again, but hey, I'm glad to be here. I'm just really grateful that there's a net for my kind, and this is my first night to check in on the net, and I'm really enjoying this. Over.
Yeah, copy that. Well, welcome aboard, welcome back to ham radio as well. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on, but I punch in the call sign and nothing is coming up. I think I might, just to confirm, did I have it right? Are you Whiskey 4 November Zulu Echo or X? Oh, wait a moment. X-ray. Whoa. Something's... I'm not sure. Is it Echo or X-ray?
It's X-ray, and I usually just say W4NZX. Over.
There we go. I finally got it down. I don't know what's going on. A lot of times I would whenever I hear X-rays, for some reason my brain wants to type echo instead of X-ray. I don't know. Anyways, I got it sorted. All right. Well, we're gonna call you again in just a little bit. Welcome to our little round table here. Before I kick it back up to Tony, did we have anybody else out there wishing to check in? Okay, Tony, take it away. VK3JED KJ7OMO.
Yeah, okay, Kimberly, and got myself a coffee during the last round, and g'day to George. George and I had a contact a couple of weeks ago on the system at a different time of day. I think it was early in my morning from memory, around 7 a.m. I think. So yeah, a lot earlier than this. I can't remember which day it was. But yeah, I pointed George this way. Welcome aboard, and always good to have more of our kind on the airwaves. And happy to help out, Jared. I prefer to consult on making such major changes to the network, but you weren't around, so I looked at how I could solve the problem without causing bigger problems. And thanks to the way the software works, and a bit of Docker magic as an extra layer of security, everything works fine without an issue, and there's no way a loop can happen. So all good. And I am really looking forward to meeting you up there in Sydney. I haven't been to Sydney for 5 years, I think now. So I'm overdue to get back up there. While I couldn't live there, it's a place I do enjoy visiting. I always seem to have a good trip when I head off to Sydney. So I look forward to visiting and spending a few days up there. Should be there for about four to 5 days on this trip. That'll be good. And if you're able to help with the getting the event to air or online, even better. See what us old farts can do. What else? To our new station, still haven't got the name. You sounded really, really good. Very nice audio with that increase of volume. And welcome aboard. Certainly the more... I'm getting carried away today. Time the radio out again, but at least it stops me timing it in the network, so I guess that's a good thing. So you're welcome aboard. We're all newcomers. For me that was over 30 years ago, but there was that time where I was new and didn't know what to do when I pressed the button, and quickly catch on, learn how it all works, and become part of the big ham family. Anyway, KJ7OMO with the group, VK3JD.
VK3JED KJ7OMO returning. Yes, the days of being new. My newbie days. I remember first time I transmitted, it was on a repeater. It was the very first day that my license appeared on the database, and most people thought that I was a pirate or a bootlegger or something, an illegal station, just because they couldn't find me on QRZ at the time. And they was like, oh, if you check the FCC database itself, you'll find that station there. So yeah. Oh, the days of being new. But I was able to make, my first contact with somebody, and and I had a lot of fun doing it. But now I've made probably thousands of contacts. I don't know, I've lost count. Over 1,000 contacts at least. And that number is ever so growing. It's growing ever so bigger, I mean. Anyways, let's see. We'll toss it over to VK5ZSH, KJ7OMO, and hopefully one of these days I will be in Australia. I'd love to go there and visit.
KJ7OMO, VK5 Zulu Sierra Hotel, returning. Yes, the good old days of being nervous at the radio. I still have those days, so don't worry. I'm a seasoned ham, but I still have those days. It all comes down to my mental thinking, basically. And yeah, the reason why I get tongue-tied and whatnot is because trying not to say things that you shouldn't say or that are politically wrong or what have you. Yeah, so my brain I have to slow my brain down to think about that sort of stuff, which is for me annoying because yeah, I get tripped up and people think that there's something wrong with me. Well, there is, but yeah, I think we all have that problem. Hi. Yeah, I was going to... I don't know if Jared's back or not. He's probably still out wandering. But anyway, if you are listening there, Jared, I have been keeping a keen eye on OpenGD77. They've been making some rather great headway with the Retevis RT3S handhelds and getting that up and running on there. So yeah, it's all still in alpha at the moment, but I'm going to look at giving it a shot on my handheld. I'm on my GD77 at the moment. I really enjoy the OpenGD77 firmware, so I'm going to be happy once I can get that handheld over to running that as well. But I hear the real big gripe with the handheld is the fact that the GPS is absolutely just a load of rubbish and takes way too long to acquire satellites. Hang on. Looks like I'm getting there, like you there, Tony, catching the, whatchamacallit, the timer. Luckily my radio starts beeping at me to let me know that I'm talking too long. But yeah, with the OpenGD77 firmware for the Retevis, yeah, the GPS is absolute rubbish. So, unfortunately, probably not a lot that can be done. But one good thing is, with the OpenGD77 firmware, it will still make a very, very, very good satellite handheld, which is more of what I'm going to use it for because of the Retevis handheld has a RTC in it, so it remembers the date and time, so you don't have to keep resetting that like you do with the GD77 handheld. So the only real thing then with the handheld to do is updating the kept data, basically. So that would be good. But I have to actually ask Roger what the go is with the memory and stuff like that with the Retrievers, and if there is more memory than there is with the GD77, maybe look at increasing the size of the kept data from 15 satellites, say, to maybe 30 satellites or something like that. Yeah, anyway, I've waffled on long enough there, so I will put it back to you there, Kimberly, KJ7IMO, VK5ZSH.
VK5ZSH KJ7OMO returning. Well, I am keeping an eye on that radio, and if OpenGD77 does make good enough headway to have that firmware running stable on that radio, then I might just later on, grab me that radio. Not right away though, because I need to pay down some of my bills first before I get that radio. But once my bills are low enough, then yeah, I might just go snag that radio just to have a spare DMR radio handy. Anyways, we'll pass the mic over to November 4, Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
Yeah, now we've got two kind of similar call signs on the net. There is W4 November Zulu X-Ray, and now there's me, November 4 November Yankee X-Ray. That suffix is only a letter off. Yeah, I've got to laugh about that. And then was also listening in earlier about, when people are new to amateur radio and people try to look them up on QRZ.com and can't find them. And I don't know, I've been there, done that once, and I don't know. It's kind of interesting how some people take one website to rule them all about whether or not you exist. A little bit of a pain of a situation to be in, but I don't know. We all get started somewhere, and honestly, that website seems mostly useless until you get onto the HF bands anyway, so interesting times with that. Anyway, I'll pass that back up to Net Control, and this is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
Yeah, copy that. I've also seen some U.S. stations actually have their data deleted from QRZ, so they won't show up at all. So it's very important to not rely on QRZ exclusively to look people up. I mean, sure, you could use it as a primary means because it's easy and convenient, but in case they don't show up and they're a U.S. station, then the next thing to keep handy is the FCC database, which is a little bit of a pain to use, but at least they will show up there no matter what. So, yeah, QRZ first, and if nothing, FCC, and that works. Victor Kilo 2, Whiskey Alpha Yankee, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. We'll pass that mic to you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Well, some of us won't show up on the FCC database. We'll be on the ACMA database. But yes, the gist is irrelevant. The Renovus, yes, the GPS, why bother with it? So as you know, I have two of them, my backpack radios, as I call them. And I'm using one right now, but this one is the GPS model, the first one I got. The first model I ordered, I didn't even bother with GPS for because it was so bad on the first one I had, even with the stock firmware. So, happy to have a GPS-less radio in that case. For the price of the radio, GPS is kind of like a novelty on it anyway. It's only DAPRS, which is not true APRS, and GPS is kind of only useful for that. Not a feature I look for in a Renovus. Anyway, yeah, I'm not much more to add. Still laying back watching the cricket. Sixers are doing really well, which is my team, of course. Currently 3 for 123, just under 4 overs left in this innings, and yeah, hopefully we can put the Stars in their place and keep them there this season. Back to you, KJ7OMO, VK2WAY.
Yeah, copy that. Well, at least with the OpenGD77 firmware, you could still manually program in your location. So, yeah, I mean, most mobile phones have GPS on them now, so you can just run a GPS app if you're out in the field, get your coordinates, program that into the radio using the, radio interface. It's easy to do, and then you'll be able to work various satellites, including the International Space Station, out in the field with the OpenGD77 firmware on a compatible radio, including the Retevis. So yeah, better just to buy the cheaper non-GPS model and just use an external GPS device to manually program in the coordinates. No sense in wasting money on something that does not work. Anyways, we'll send the mic over to Kilo 7, India Papa Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
Kilo 7, India Papa Kilo. Thank you. Again, thanks for the other welcomes. So is this? I'm curious if this is, these GPSs. Are they time connected at all, or are they just something that is showing your location in these radios? I'm still learning a lot about how the different radios work, but it seems really interesting how all of the timing is connected together in a lot of it as well. KJ7OO, KK7 IPK, back to net.
All right, well, that is a very good question. Because normally on GPS, you can not only get your location, but you could also get the current time and date off the GPS as well. And it's a highly accurate date and time that you would get. So as for how it ties into the radios, well, it depends on the radio. Some radios just give you just a basic, APRS beacon type thing where once in a while it'll transmit your location out as you move along, and then there are other radios that'll have that plus also give you a few other things to go with that. I do have a Yaesu radio here that does have a GPS built in, and so far the only thing I've been able to do with it is just to transmit my location every now and then, and and also to see the current time with it. So yeah, the GPS is just mostly for beaconing stuff, though with modified firmware you could use the GPS to get your current location and allow the radio to calculate where the different satellites are and basically tune into them and track them as they whiz on by the sky. And some radios could actually do have that functionality without any firmware hacking, though if you want to do it on the cheap, then just a basic radio with a firmware hack would get you by for satellite communications. But I'm pretty sure others will give their input on it. So anyways, we're gonna pass it over to W4NZX KJ7OMO.
I believe I've got this right, KJ7RNO. This is W4NZX. Kind of brought up some precious memories a while ago. My mind went back because when I first got licensed, code was still a requirement then if you got above a tech, which, in those days they had the no code tech, and then you got the tech plus after you got 5 words a minute code, and then of course after you did that, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump to a general, and which I did. But I remember Echolink was very new then, and of course D-Star came about just about the time I got out of it. But I remember my first contact on Echolink was a little guy in Singapore. And I'm going to release the key just for a second so I don't time out. But this little guy, W4NZX, this little guy, had gotten his license as a Boy Scout. And, of course, he had to build a rig and sit before the men in the black jackets and ties, and he had to do the work. And with every upgrade, he had to have more code on top of that. And he was just the type of little guy that you just wanted a big, big, big jug of lemonade and just sit on the porch with him all day long and just listen to the stories he had to tell. And back then as well, after I'd got me some HF privileges, 10 meters was hopping. So I made a contact in Japan. I thought that was just great. Well, here just the other day, we've got another wild opening on 10. I've not heard anything on 6 meters, by the way, but I made a contact the other day with a guy in Spain. I don't have any of my old QSL cards, by the way, but I'm going to start putting them up back on the wall again. And but anyway, I enjoyed Echolink, and I still enjoy my HF. I've got a FT920 that I'm running now. Just got a big piece of wire up in the air with some lateral line, and then into a ballon, and then a ballon to coax, and then coax into the shack. But I encourage any of you who have not gotten that far yet to by all means do it and explore anything that you can, especially code. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Net Control, W4NZX.
Yes, W4NZX KJ7OMO returning, and yeah, I remember my first days on HF. Boy, that was exciting. I was still technician back then, but I was able to get on 10 meters, and I was actually able to talk to somebody in, I think, Brazil, and that, on 10 meters, and that was quite awesome. Of course, I did upgrade it to general, and I was able to get on the rest of the bands and have some more fun, and I've been able to get DX all over the place and all that stuff. When I first got on HF, all I had was just access to other people's HF rigs using remote control software, and then a ham back out in the East Coast felt sorry for me, so he gave me his old rig, which is a Ten-Tech Omni A, and I still have it, and that got me on the air for a while. And then the stimulus checks from Uncle Sam came in, and I got myself an IC718. I had a lot of fun with that. And then recently, the IC718, for some reason, it failed. I mean, it no longer wanted to transmit any audio. It'll transmit a carrier, but it wouldn't transmit any audio. So I tried to fix it. I tried to see if I could get it sent in for repair, but they wanted like an astronomical amount of money just to fix it. So I decided, well, I'll try to fix it myself. So I tried to fix it myself, and I wound up permanently destroying the motherboard on it. So I'm back to using my Ten-Tec Omni Alpha, which for some reason has become extremely deaf, and its VFO has gone bad, so I'm having to use an RTL SDR dongle with a HF up converter and an automatic antenna relay switch just to be able to listen to what's out there, and a cheap Chinese signal generator just to feed a VFO signal into the rig here so I can tune around the bands. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to work with at the moment. I mean, the RTL SDR dongle doesn't work as well as the IC718, and it also isn't as sensitive as the Ten-Tec would have been if it wasn't deaf, but hey, it's better than nothing. Oh yeah, and I gotta deal with the imaging, the multiple signal image problem that these SDRs face, because they get overloaded so easily with nearby strong signals. But hey, at least it gets me on the air. Let me reset. Alright, anyways, we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in to the net. And oh boy, we are actually gonna go overtime here, because I just realized that Siobhan's net is starting right now, but yeah, that's okay. We'll go overtime for a bit. Let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check into the net. All I need is your call sign, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, standing by. Alright, nobody else out there, so we'll send it back to VK3JED, KJ7OMO.
Yeah, and some interesting chatter going on. I've been around for a while too, as many of you know, and certainly things have changed. QRZ, what's that? Online databases, what's that? I had to wait till I got the letter in the mail, but going back before I was examined by the relevant government department. They've changed their name several times since. I think it was the Department of Transport and Communications back in those days, and they ran the exams themselves. They only had 4 a year: February, May, August and November, if I recall, and you had to apply for the exams by letter at least 5 weeks in advance. I was studying engineering, so I knew I had the theory down pat, and the regulations looked pretty straightforward. So I thought, yeah, I'll give this Morse thing a crack. Just go for the 5 words a minute. So I sent my application in and spent the next 5 or so weeks studying Morse code. And sat the exams, passed it quite easily. So I ended up with what was then known as a combined licence, became intermediate later, which was sort of a combination of novice on HF and everything above 50 meg, the old limited licence of those days. And local ham lent me his 2 metre handheld after I showed him my letter, just to prove I had the licence, and gave him the call sign. And I first operated pedestrian mobile and then mobile on trains, a pattern which I'd repeat for probably the next 20 odd years. And later on I had a go at HF and did a lot of DX on 15 metres especially, with only 10 watts. So had a huge amount of fun. Didn't do much Morse. Couldn't get into it conversationally, but one of these days probably when I don't need to be quite so physically active and I want to give the head more of a challenge, I might. Yeah, I'm getting savaged by the crocodile today. But yeah, I'll get back into the Morse one day. I was going to do it this winter, but every time they had the local Morse practice sessions, they were either online, which I can't do in this house, just don't have the space, or they were on at times when it clashed with other things. But at least next year I'll be able to do online and on-air sessions a lot easier in the new house, which is only about a month away. So, yeah, things have changed a lot. Yeah, I do need to look at what I'm going to run HF at the new house, but I do want to get that set back up. Not so much interested in working DX as in staying connected with people I know, and that includes Pride members, where I suspect that JS8 call's probably going to be the mode of choice, and the odd pinging on FT8. No, just to say that they're there, I heard you, and then, yeah, JS8, when we get time to sit down, actually have a chat on HF, text mode, of course, because that's a very promising mode. Anyway, I'm not sure I'll get another round in, but we'll see. Yeah, we're getting going really well. KJ7RMO with the group, VK3JD.
VK3JED KJ7OMO returning. Yes, JSA call. One of these days we might try and have a Pride net over JS8 call and see what happens. At least with JS8, if we can't hear each other, then we could ping other stations to see which other stations can hear, and use those other stations to relay the messages across. So that's the beauty of JS8. So we could have a net on JS8 even if we can't hear each other directly. So yeah, one of these days we might actually try it as an experiment. Though one day, if the conditions do get right and all of us could hear each other on single sideband, and none of us get cut out for a while, then we might even try a voice net on HF. That would be a lot of fun too. But for right now, I think JS8 would give us the best chance if we do the net on HF. And of course, there's always these linked repeater modes, so we're never gonna abandon that. No way. Alright, November 4... No, wait. Victor Kilo 5, Zulu Sugar Hotel, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Woo, I'm getting ahead of myself.
KJ7OMO, VK5, ZSH returning. No problems there, Kimberly. And, well, there's one feature that people forget that's in JS8 call is that you've actually got an inbox. So if you're not actually on air or whatever, you'll still end up with a message that will come to you at some stage. I learnt that by just sheer accident, because my JS8 was telling me that I had something in my inbox, and lo and behold, it was an American actually that had sent me a message. So there's always that there. As for CW, back in the day, I did learn and study for my novice. I tried my hardest at CW, but my brain doesn't work that way. So yeah, I ended up putting amateur radio basically on the back burner. But if you're musically minded, etc., and you don't have any problems with spelling and stuff. I have a big problem with that. I can't break down words to spell them to save my life. hence I love search engines. If you don't know how to spell a word, try and put it into there, and generally you'll find the word that you're looking for. That's my problem there with that side of things. These days with QRP sort of power that I run here, I don't mind using digital modes because they're just that much simpler, basically. And for SSB, I'll get around to doing that more when the bands sort of open up a little bit more. 10 meters is slowly opening up, once hopefully we hit into summer here, 10 meters will be raring. And that's one good thing about the digital modes too. When you QRP power and whatnot, it gives you a good indication to what's going. Hang on. Yeah, when you're running QRP power on digital modes, it gives you a good indication of how the bands are actually going and stuff like that. So that's one reason for running FT8, for instance. You get an idea. If you're rocketing into say JA, for instance, then you pack up the digital for a second and then, go further up the band and try some SSB and stuff. So, yeah. And there's always, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, go AM. And, you're going good when you're making AM contacts between, say, here in Japan, for instance. So, anyway, I'll put it back to you there, Kimberly. KJ7 IMO, VK5 ZSH.
VK5 ZSH KJ7 OMO returning. Good stuff there. And speaking of inboxing on JSA, not only can stations leave you a message on your own inbox, but they could also leave you a message on another station's inbox. So yeah, say you ping for stations and you want to know who could hear you, then other stations will pop up and say, "Hey, I got a message for you." It's all automated, of course, and then you query that other station for a message, and bam, there it is. So there's that feature as well, in addition to your own inbox. And CW, I don't know. I tried CW, and I don't know. It's just not for me. I can never seem to get into CW. I mean, I did try making a few CW contacts in the past. I do have a few CW contacts in my log, but I don't know. CW is just not really for me. Anyways, November 4, November Yankee X-ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
Yep, this is Sarah, November 4, November Yankee X-ray here, and I've got to say JS8 call or JS8 is one of my favorite digital modes, and I'd be excited to see us do something on there one of these days, or, yeah, especially with the inboxing tools and whatnot. I almost wish I could just leave a rig up like 24/7 to serve as, permanent relay messaging, that type of thing. Unfortunately, I don't have enough HF rigs to go around, and I keep using my one HF rig for multiple different things, so that never really quite works out. But there's a few other people out there that keep their rigs open 24/7, and a couple of people have even put the best equivalency I can say is similar to like the Discord bots, where you can type in a command and get different responses. Like I know a couple of people are running weather forecast nodes on their JS8 call station, where I could type in WX ? And then the Maidenhead grid square, and it'll give a forecast. I don't know. Anyway, definitely one of my favorite HF digital modes, for sure. Other than that comment, I've got to say that this will be my last rotation, and I'll be dropping off the net here. Got to run and do something else, and this will be my last rotation, and thanks for the good net. Back to net control.
Alrighty, Sarah. November 4, November, Yankee X-ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Well, thank you for hanging out with us, and I shall say 7-3 and 33 and all the numbers to you, and we look forward to hearing you again on the next net, and also anytime, even if there's no net. Victor Kilo 2, Whiskey Alpha Yankee, we'll toss it over to you. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
Now, VK2WAY returning to the net, KJ7 there. And, CW has never really been one I could get my head around either. I tried a little while. I need to get back to it sometime soon, but yeah, not really for me. And, I haven't really played JS8, but, my HF constrained situation here, for those who don't, on the ground floor city apartment building, my view of the sky is one narrow street between buildings and lots and lots of noise generated above me. So, HF is pretty much impossible at home, and my balcony is fairly small. Other than that, I have to run. I've got a couple of things to do this afternoon. So it's been a great net. Good to hear, I think it was George and Sarah, who I hadn't heard before. I think for the news station, I think that was Sarah. If you don't have it yet, perhaps Kimberly could organize the ARL new first contact certificate thing. Bob. I don't know much about that, but I'm sure you do, Kimberly. Good to hear Dale and Tony also. Always good to talk to you both. And on that note, I will say 73. I will say 33 to the Huggables and all the other things as well. And looking forward to meeting Tony in March when we finally get the chance to do that. And Dale, I hope you stay safe. Kimberly, I will talk to you soon, no doubt, and I will catch you all on the Discords. This is Victor Kilo 2, Whiskey Alpha Yankee, Jared in Sydney, back to net control.
All right, Jared. Well, you take care. Good hearing from you again, and 7-3 to you. And we'll see you on Discord in just a little bit. And for those of you who don't have the Discord, head on over to prideradio.group. That is prideradio.group. Sign up for a membership, and you'll get access to the Discord chat room, which is, of course, free for the membership. Prideradio.group is the website. Over to Kilo 7, India Papa Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
KJ7 OMO, KK7 IPK. That's incredible to hear about the JS8. I didn't realize that it could actually leave messaging. As I said, I've been kind of watching some of the FT8 exchanges recently. It was wild watching, seeing messages flying over your head going from Japan to the East Coast or from folks up. I was particularly seeing a lot out from the Great Lakes region down into Texas, just the way propagation was working for me. I'm super excited to get into all that. I'm trying to learn a little bit about CW. I've been doing a little bit of the online practice to learn the different letters. I don't really know it yet, but I'm hoping to get that figured out soon. It seems really cool. I think it'd be pretty neat to be able to type really fast just with taps. Be really good to get that down. I'm hoping to soon. And KJ7 OMO, KK7 IPK, back to net.
Yeah, copy that. Well, JS8 is a heavily modified version of FT8. Unlike FT8, where the only thing you could do is just throw out your call sign and, exchange a signal report with someone and then move on to the next, the JS8 expands, that, and actually allows you to have a full-blown conversation, with others over the airwaves. So, JS8 call is just a really neat thing. You basically get the best of both worlds. You get the awesome propagation of the FT8 protocol and the ability to send full-blown messages out. So, it's a really neat program. And if you can get your radio to work on FT8, you can just as easily get it to work on JS8. So I highly recommend it. The only problem I have with it is that not enough people use it. So we need to, bang on the drums and get other people aware of JS8 and start using it more. Okay, W4NZX KJ7OMO. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar.
KJ7OMO, this is W4NZX returning to you. I was thinking earlier, I would like to have myself another old Kenwood, either an 820F or I think, what was it, an 850, 840. But I'd like to have another one of those old Kenwood analog radios. Those things sound awesome. I mean, there's absolutely nothing that can replace the sound of tubes. And I love that old radio. I had in those days, this thing was it was a good size radio. And it didn't do but about 10, 12 watts out. Now, we're talking about for 6 meters. It was strictly a 6-meter radio. But, hey, it was a good little rig. I talked all over with it. And between that old National and that Kenwood, I was hopping. But now, it's ironic because you mentioned about code earlier. I've had a little bit of a stroke at that particular point in time. So, now we have this racetrack here in Talladega, and the race fans were just really super to me because you couldn't hardly understand a word I said. But word had gotten out that I'd had a stroke, and they were just super nice. But I stayed on HF all the time, didn't and dying. I had wound up with a bug, which I actually still have that bug. And I was using it, and my old trusty J38 that I still have here. Kind of funny, I had my call sign engraved and the little bar that goes across the back. And then I got my license back, and then I finagled around and actually got my old call sign back, and which I was lucky there. Let me go ahead and reset W4NZX. But I was really glad because I started out as KG4QKR back in the day. Well, those are memories. And then I wound up with this call. And so this is the second time I've had this call, and when I lose it again, I guess I'll pass it on to somebody else. Hopefully, some of the grandchildren or something will come in and take it over, I hope. But anyway, such as that. I'd like to see us. I don't have a lot of digital. Well, I don't have any digital equipment, just to be honest with you, except for that Well, I don't have any modes, for anything like that, with the exception of this phone, to be honest. But I would like to see us get a net going on HF somewhere, because there used to be a Lambda net and something else. I can't think of what that was, and I never did get to participate in that because I never could find it back in those days. And if any of y'all know anything about where that might be, I would be grateful for that information. And with that, I'll pass it back to you. W4NZX.
Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar returning. Yeah, there's not very many queer-friendly nets out there, but there is this one group called the Rainbow. Let me see. Hang on a second. RAR Rainbow Amateur Radio Association, I think. I don't know, but they do regular nets on AHF, but boy, they are hard to find, because, they're just kind of hard to find, and most of them are out in the East Coast US, so that makes it even tougher to find them. At least for me, anyways, because, well, for one thing, I'm in the West Coast. The other thing is, all I got is a random wire, and my signals don't always make it to the East Coast. I mean, on some days they do, but the majority of the time, most of my signals will end up being received by Japanese stations. So yeah, it's just propagation. It's just weird here. But yeah, there's that. But yeah, they're I don't even remember what frequencies they're on. It's been a while, and since I've last participated in one of their nets, and I don't know. They often have these weird schedules where it just doesn't work for me. But anyways, I'd like to get a net started. This very net started on HF, at least on JS8 for now. Let me reset. Yeah, at least on JS8 call, and on any HF radio, you can feed a digital signal to it as long as you have the appropriate adapters to plug it into your computer, and then you can run the software on your computer and throw out some digital signals with your HF. It's not that hard to implement. There's that, and speaking of digital, well, not only speaking of digital, you're also going out on this network, and this net is also going out on different digital voice modes. So technically, you are going out on digital voice. Anyways, we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in. All I need is your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Alright, nobody else checking in. Ooh, we are about almost a half hour late for Siobhan's net. VK3JED, KJ7OMO.
Yeah, hopefully this will work. Level looks a bit low, but just have to deal with it. Just going mobile now. Heading out for a bit of a recovery spa at the local gym. So, just going to chill out for the rest of the afternoon. So this will definitely be my last over. I've switched across to Echolink because I'll be well outside of RF range in fact, I've just exited RF range now. Probably could have put RBO on, but seemed a bit pointless for one over, and getting it back off would have been difficult. But yeah, it was good net today. Good to meet some new voices. Yeah, HF. I'm probably a bit more sceptical because of distance for voice, but I think JS8 call has a lot of potential for a HF net in the future once I get set up. I'm also interested in experimenting with hooking up 3DV to our network, the digital HF voice mode. I think I can hook up to the network. I even have some techniques to connect single sideband. Yeah, some work I did about 15 years ago on 2 metres has sort of given me information on how I could do HF, which would be the same system with a little bit more filtering on the voice detection side to minimise false triggering. But yeah, I know how to make it work with modern software. Boxes that could work quite well. Anyway, on that note, I will say 7-3, and I'll listen until I arrive in just under 5 minutes' time. KJ7OMO with the group VK3JD.
Alright, VK3JED, KJ7OMO will 7-3 to you, and drive safely, and enjoy your little spa treatment. And yeah, sounds good. Maybe sometime in the very near future I might do an experimental net on JS8 just to see what happens. Anyways, VK5ZSH, KJ7OMO.
KJ7OMO, VK5ZSH returning. Yeah, catch you later there, Tony. Have a good spa and that. And yeah, I think Tony was talking about FreeDV. There, digital voice over SSB. Yes, that's actually very interesting because before there was free DV around, a friend and I, we were messing about with audio compression and stuff like that, where we were actually running our radios from our laptops, and what we were doing was feeding our audio into our laptops, doing all the equalization and compression there, because there's some nice ALSA mixer plugins that you can actually use. And after some experimenting and whatnot, we actually found a nice one. So all that basically meant for us was when we wanted to talk, we basically just run a quick little command in Terminal, and voila, it would open up the microphone and everything, do all the compression, etc., and equalization, and bang, put it through to the radio. Now, what I was doing was I was actually running it via the digital port. Yaesis have got a digital port on the back for doing data, FSK, etc. So that's what I was actually doing. And yeah, we were able to make our audio sound so much better than what the onboard compression, etc., processing that was built into the radio. So basically, going via the digital port too, you don't actually have to mess around with any of the processing stuff on the radio anyway, because all that is actually bypassed. It's not used. So it was good. So you could easily go between your actual physical microphone on... Hang on. You can quite easily go between the physical microphone and using your laptop with a headset, etc. It was great for experimenting, because if we botch something up completely on the laptop or computer, whichever you're using, we could easily go grab the microphone and fall back to a standard, basically, and that's being the radio settings themselves. So, I have never actually got into running FreeDV, but I am used to basically using a laptop with its own onboard sound card. And the trick is you actually need a second sound card to, run into the radio. FreeDV sort of works along the similar lines. So that is another thing that we can actually look at, because SSB on its own, I can see that we're going to, especially from Australia to the States, we're going to be pushing it, that's for sure. But if we add the digital implement there of FreeDV, we might have more of a chance. That's for sure, because myself and probably a lot of other hams are doing the same thing these days, running on battery and solar. So that's how I run here. So hence the QRP powers and stuff like that. So anyway, I've waffled on long enough there. Cheers for putting on the net there, Kimberly. Appreciate it. If you can book me as a in and out on Siobhan's net there when you call in, that'd be much appreciated as well, because trying to call into her net is a bit of a pain this side of the river. Hi. Alright, cheers and 73 all, 44s and 33s and all the other numbers. And we'll catch you all next week. Back to you there, Kimberly, KJ7, IMO, VK5, ZSH, clear but listening.
Alrighty, VK5ZSH, KJ7OMO. Well, thank you for hanging out with us and all that stuff. And I shall say 7-3 to you. And yep, no problem. I will relay your check-in request to Siobhan once we connect over to the Puget Sound system. And of course, if anybody else wants to join her net when we connect, then yeah, I'll go ahead and relay your check-ins as well. In fact, I'll take some check-ins for her after our net ends. And then we'll gather up some call signs, and after that we'll connect, and we'll hang out with Siobhan for a minute, for a little bit. She is one awesome lady. Kilo 7 India Papa Kilo. This is Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Over to you.
Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Alpha. Oscar Mike Oscar. Kilo 7 India Papa Kilo. It's been great talking to all you folks. Been really enjoying the net. Learned a few new things. I'd really love to take a peek at some of that JSA stuff. I'm actually downloading and compiling it right now. I hope to pop on next week. I'll probably be popping onto the PSRNet shortly, hopefully over RF. Have a good night or day, and 73 to all of you. KJ7OMO, KK7IPK.
Alright, no problem. Well, 3373 and all the numbers to you, and we'll see you on that net. And by the way, I'm going to connect this network over to the Puget Sound radio group, so there's no need to retune your dial or anything, because all of us are going to be coming along. Alright, I'll go ahead and mark you in as a check-in, and Siobhan will probably call you up in just a little bit so that you could say hello to her and let her know that you're a new ham, and And all right, we'll go ahead and mark you in as a check-in for her net, and I'll go ahead and pass things over to Whiskey 4 November Zulu X-Ray Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar.
KJ70MO, this is W4NZX. I was just going to throw a really quick invitation in there. I've got a little group on Facebook called Amateur Radio LGBT. Now, the group is very small, and I would love to have each and every one of you to come aboard and kind of help me get this thing off ground. We've got a guy in there, and if he knew I couldn't tell you his name and call sign, but he's got a YouTube channel and everything, but this guy is an awesome CW teacher. He's got some great videos out there that's on that. He's in the group, and what little bit we've got going on is really good. It's friendly, but we need more, most definitely. And with that, I will pass it back to you, KJ70MO, W4NZX, back to net control.
All right, sounds good. Go ahead and send me that information onto my email address, which is listed on qrz.com, or my call sign at gmail.com, which is that email, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar at gmail.com. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and make one final call for check-ins. This is the final call. Do we have anybody else out there listening to join in real quick for a quick hello? All I need is your call signs slowly, twice, and phonetically. And if you wish your pronouns as well, this is the final call. We're going to be shutting things down since we're about 40 minutes late for the other net. KJ7OMO standing by for check-ins.
Quick question from BK2WAY. Can the previous station please repeat the name of the Facebook page that I should be joining? Back to you, Net Control. BK2WAY.
All right, copy that. Well, as soon as I receive the information on my email box, then yeah, I'll go ahead and post it over to you. But yeah, do we have anybody else wishing to check in for the last and final time?
Could I throw a little something in there, please, ma'am?
I would appreciate it if you could give a heads-up check-in to the next net for me.
All right, George, you may do that, but first let's see who this other station is. There is a station coming in on RF, but I did not catch your call sign. You will need to, when you transmit, you need to hold the transmit button down for maybe 1 or 2 seconds before you say anything at all, because some of the systems are pretty slow to catch up. So hold the mic button down, hold the transmit button down, wait a couple seconds, and then spit out your call sign one more time. Alright, I believe there was a station in Sydney coming in through the VK2ROT repeater, but I did not catch your call sign. Could you repeat that one more time, please?
Third time's the charm. This is VK2BSD, Victor Kilo 2, Bravo Sierra Delta, pedestrian mobile.
Alright, VK2BSD, yeah, we're about to shut the net down, but we'll go ahead and toss it over to you so that you could give your report.
7, I'm the group from VK2BSD Pedestrian Mobile. Not much to report. I'm out for a walk today. Wonderful sunny day, quite hot. And it's scheduled to rain tonight and tomorrow, which won't be as fun. Good to hear a few new voices on the net as well. I don't even remember the call signs. It's W4M something and KK790, I think. And Jared, VK2WY, good to actually hear you again. It's been a very long time. Probably not as long as I think it just feels like forever. I'll put back KJ7, the group from VK2BSD, Pedestrian Mobile.
All right, Yakov, it's good to hear you out there again, and have fun with the walk in 7-3. Back to Whiskey for November, Zulu X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
KJ7 MOW4NZX returning. I don't really know how to send that information. I'm not real computer savvy with stuff like that. But the name of the group is Amateur Radio LGBT. Matter of fact, you could go ahead and look me up on Facebook, George Campbell, and send me a friend request or whatever you want to do, and I'll go ahead and send you an invite, and I can do it like that. But that's yeah, I'm a baby boomer, but that's the only way I know how to do that. Over.
All right, copy that. Well, I did found the group, so I'm gonna go ahead and join it, and then I'll copy the URL to the Facebook page and paste it over to Jared. All right. Well, folks, before I close this net, what was I gonna say? All right. I lost my train of thought, so let me reset. Alrighty, folks, I'm going to go ahead and close the net, and then, yeah. Okay, folks, that is a wrap. I would like to thank all of you for participating and having fun on this net. I also would like to thank the Waverley Amateur Radio Society in Sydney, as well as the folks behind the VK3RBO repeater for the use of their systems to carry this net, as well as VK3JED and VK2WAY, as well as the rest of the Pride Radio group for making this net possible. I now return all frequencies, repeaters, and other systems back to their abnormal abuse. I mean, normal amateur use. 7-3 everyone from Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. And for those of you who will remain connected to the Pride Radio Network, which includes the VK2ROT repeater, we're going to hand things off to Siobhan, Kilo Juliet 7, Uniform Sierra Zulu, whom we are 47 minutes late joining. But before I do, is there anybody out there wishing to check into her net before I connect to the system that her net is on? Because her net is extremely difficult to get into with all the pile-ups. But I have full duplex capabilities, and I can bust right through those pile-ups. So, anybody out there wishing to check into Siobhan's net before I connect? All I need is your call signs.
You can IO me there, simply VK2WAY, returning with all of the numbers to Siobhan and all my Seattle radio tapes. I'll be on the side listening.
I just got a quick one there too, Kimberly. Can you pass the details and that of the Discord server, etc., onto the other people that have joined that are new, just in case they want to join up on the Discord server there? Back to you.
We'll see ya.
Woo! That was a perfect double! Oh my god, there was 2 stations transmitting at the same time, but VK5ZSH has overtook the other station. Alright, no problem. I'll go ahead and post that information. And, other station, could you repeat that again?
It was me. I said I was going to go ahead and bail. By the way, this is W4NZX. I'm going to go ahead and bail out. My eyelids are beginning to get a little heavy, and so with that, I'll say 7-3 to you and to the rest of the round table, and we look to hear from you again. Now, this net meets on Sunday night. Is that correct?
Yes, every Sunday morning at 2 o'clock 2 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time, which for me in Arizona would equal to a Saturday evening at 7 p.m.
Okie doke, I do appreciate it, and with that, once again, I will say 7-3 W4NZX. We'll see ya.
All right, see you around. Anybody else out there wishing to check into Siobhan's net before I connect? Last call.
Yeah, I reckon at 15 minutes into the net, we might make him just for the second round. So, VK2BSD here, can you please IO? I might reach you later once I get to my work.
Alrighty, no problem. I'll check you in as an in and out. Alright, folks, this is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. I will now connect this system to the Puget Sound network, where we join Siobhan's net 51 minutes late. Yeah, boy. Here we go.
This is KC2STO. Back to net control.
Hey, Charlie, I tell you what, I'm so glad to hear that you're doing well, and I hear your sports teams are doing well, so that's great. And you know what? I admire you for going for your extra, but it's amazing that you already have your general, and that's all you really need, so don't put too much pressure on yourself. General gets you all that DXing and HF and all those fun things. I really don't think the extra is necessary, and so, I'm coming from a place where I have my extra.
Okay, YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and we'll see you on the next video. This has been Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, Kimberly in Yuma, Arizona, saying